2009 Kia Spectra5. We're doing a backup camera add-on. That's what it looks like so far. And we get inside. I'm on remote start currently. Reverse. Now that you've seen it, I'll show you how to install it and how to run the wires. Today we're going to do a basic camera add-on backup camera for a 2009 Kia Spectra hatchback. So I'm going to kind of take you on a quick guide on how to put this in. So let's get to it. First things first, take this piece off, which is the one that goes right here. Just held by a couple of clips, and then you'll take off these two Phillips head, and then this whole two-piece comes off, and then we'll keep moving towards the back. So before you remove this panel right here, there's going to be the little hook things for the cargo cover. This just pops off. As you can see, I kind of broke one of the locking tabs because these things are pretty tight, but just kind of wiggle it here and there. But yeah, it's the one that goes right here, and then as soon as this piece comes off, you just pull the panel towards you, and then it'll pop off. Once you get those panels removed, you're gonna have a Phillips right here and then another Phillips right here. Go ahead and take that off, and this should just pop off. As you can see, once you get those two screws out, everything is pretty much just little clips. I did need to pull the other two that was stuck in there, so pretty much just put everything aside and we'll keep on moving. In the license plate area, to remove this, you have to take off two 10mm, and then we'll move on to the inside bolts. So for this one, it was kind of tricky to remove. There will be two nuts that hold it from right here, and then these clips are going to be the only thing that's locking it in, but it needs to be squeezed in from the inside, and then this pretty much trim piece would come off. Just like I said, just make sure to unplug both of the tag lights, and then that should pop off. The bolt or the nut will be going through that hole and that hole, and then those two locking clips are going to be right here on these squares, and the whole thing would just pop off. So this is where the camera is going to be mounted. It'll be on the left side. Pre-drill two small holes. Make sure you clean it up with a pad, as it has a little sticky double-sided tape along with the screws that's going to be holding it, so you want this thing to be pretty clean. I also dremeled a little notch right here so the wire would go under. That way it's not going to be, I don't need to drill any hole, because you will need a big hole for this one to go through, so that's a lot smaller. But anyway, just clean that up, and then we'll mount the camera itself. So instead of drilling anywhere in the metal of the trunk itself, I went ahead and cut a notch right here so the wire will go through. I cut a little notch in the lip for the assembly, and then zip tied it to the harness. That way I don't have to drill anything to where you'd have to have a big one to get through this. But anyway, these are just ABS glue. I know it looks messy, but you're not really going to see it, and this does prevent water from coming in. So this one is where the screws, and obviously this one just to prevent the water from coming in, this one just to seal it also, that way the water doesn't get in, but that prevents you from drilling a hole and something else to rust. And as you can see, I don't have to drill a hole for the backup camera like wiring harness to go through. It'll go through this hole, same as this harness for the tag light. So go ahead and put everything back in and see what it looks like. So just to recap, here is the nut that I was talking to you about removing to get that plastic piece out, and here's also the locking tab, which you just need to squeeze it in. Same goes on the other side, and this is the harness currently for the camera. So like I said, you don't have to drill any hole, and that's what it looks like once it's all mounted. So here's a quick update so far. Your camera, obviously from here earlier, just zip tie right here. Then you're gonna have a yellow video cable, and then the power plug. The power plug will have a black and red, which is gonna be the power. And then this also is the reverse camera video trigger. So the red one on the video trigger and the power cable is going to be tied together, so you're going to have to extend that. I already did that. And the ground, which is black, it's gonna go to this factory ground point right here. So all I did was put a heat shrink on it just to protect it a little bit. But like I said, both of the wires are gonna be power. Just run it along to the harness with the zip tie, and then we're gonna go through here to the inside, so everything will be sealed from the water. But like I said, both of the red wires together, this is gonna go to the reverse trigger, and then the ground goes here. So I find it easier to get these wires in these kind of boots. You're gonna need one of these zip ties or any type of zip tie that's long enough to go through. Go ahead and pretty much tape up your harness right here, and you're gonna move it in slowly and wiggle it. Don't just try to pull it with all your force, as you will break these wires. Once you get the wire through, that's what it should look like. Like I said, just kind of massage it from the inside as you pull. That way you don't end up damaging the wire. But other than that, that's pretty much what you have to do. And as you can see, nothing to it. I already got the wires pretty much ran into that grommet or boot. So we're gonna go ahead and pop everything back in and then continue running the wires to the front. All right, just a quick recap on where we are now. I got all the wires ran. I did break a clip that holds the headliner right here, which I'm gonna buy a new one. Also broke the clip right here and here. And I forgot that the other side is also needing some clips, so I'm gonna order those. But the power wire that we had to extend, which is the green wire, once you get it inside the grommet, you're pretty much gonna fish that wire right here. The video cable, you're gonna be fishing in between here. That's kind of why I accidentally broke the clips right there. But the power wire, you're gonna fish down here. And in the very back, the wire that you're gonna tap is the reverse wire, which is this one right here, that bulb. There's gonna be a black and a white wire, which is right here. So you're gonna go ahead and tap that power green wire to the reverse, so that will supply power to the camera and pretty much the radio itself to go in reverse mode whenever you put it in reverse. That way it's like a 2-in-1. But other than that, like I said, you tap it into the white one right here. The other one will be ground, and then we got the ground right here already, so that's pretty much taken care of. Now do not put everything back together yet unless you pretty much test it and make sure everything works. That way you're not taking the panel back off if there is an issue with it. So you're pretty much going to run the wire along the channel to the sides, all along in between here, and then you're going to be pretty much in this area. So what I'm going to do is take apart the bottom dash panel so I can run the wire from the bottom, zip tie it, and then get to the radio. Now for this step, this is not absolute necessary. You can pretty much run the wires underneath, but I prefer to take this off so I can see where I'm running the wires. This one's held by 2 screws on the side. You do have to pop off this cover right here, nothing but clips. You're gonna have 2 screws right here, and you're gonna have 2 screws right here in the bottom, each side, and then pretty much pull it towards you. You're gonna have 3 plugs right here. But other than that, pretty self-explanatory. Other than clips, you don't have to take that piece off for the hood release. But yeah, now you can actually easily see everything, so that works out perfect. So as you can see, I ran all the wires along with the remote start harness. It is easier to do it with this piece down, that way you can see everything. So to remove the radio bezel, this is pretty easy. Nothing but clips to hold the whole piece. So all you gotta do is use your panel remover, start from the very bottom and kind of work your way around it. And like I said, it's just nothing but clips. So the aftermarket radio is held 4 screws, obviously. Make sure you unplug the harnesses for the climate control, and you can just place it on top just like I have it, since you got the airbag plug in there, and you don't want to be testing everything, turning the ignition on with this thing unplugged, or it will trip your airbag. So yeah, just put it on the side, take the radio off, and then we're pretty much almost done. For this particular step, we have the camera ran, and for this radio itself, the backup signal is an orange wire, so you have to double check on yours. If you have a Pioneer, I believe they are purple, so go ahead and connect that. And now I may or may not catch any heat with this one, but butt connectors is fine with these basic installs. it's completely fine. But if you want to solder it and you got the time, it's more than welcome as well. All the same to me. But now whenever you reverse it, the light in the back would supply power to this wire, which is also what the ones you connected in the back. So everything is pretty much all in one, gets power at the same time. But this will go to the camera input and then just pretty much put back everything together.